And welcome to the Hopkinton Athletics Center for boys varsity basketball. Tom Nappy on the call as tonight the Hillers take on 5-2 Somerville. Hopkinton comes into tonight's matchup at 5-3. Last night, live on HCAM, the Hiller boys defeated Medfield 62-48, and that was the third straight win for the Hillers, who after starting the season 2-3 have turned it around and look to pick up a win against a good Somerville team tonight. 5-2 Somerville last played on January 8th, where they took down Danvers 69-51. Somerville is known for their offense, averaging 60 points per game. Hopkinton can also put up some buckets, averaging 58 points per game. Defensively, Hopkinton hold their opponents to 49 on average, while Somerville has held their opponents to 54 points per game on average. It's a showdown between two talented teams tonight at the Hopkinton Athletics Center, and right now we'll send it down the court side for the introductions of the starting lineups.
Good evening and welcome to Hopkinton High School for tonight's varsity boys basketball game as the Somerville Highlanders take on your hometown Hopkinton Hillers. The Tri-Valley League is committed to the highest ideals of sportsmanship and establishing a healthy environment for interscholastic competition. The league will not tolerate negative statements or actions directed towards competitors, game officials, or fans in attendance. Such actions include taunting, trash talking, and the berating of players or officials. Please respect all decisions made by officials. Please respect fans, coaches, participants, and opponents alike. Thank you for helping create a positive, respectful, and fun environment here at HHS. And now for tonight's lineups. For the Somerville Highlanders, at guard, number 13, freshman Marcos Francis Montel. At forward, number 21, junior Jelani Hale. At forward, number 35, junior Samuel Pejoto. At guard, number 4, senior Jakari Ross. And at forward, number 5, senior captain James McEwen. The coach for the Highlanders is Mark Antonelli. And now for your hometown, Hopkinton Hillers. At guard, number 3, junior Stephen Maffiori. At guard, number 10, junior Thomas Ambrosoni. At guard, number 21, senior captain Michael Puvakad. At forward, number 24, senior captain Brendan Kelly. And at forward, number 25, senior McCallum Lind. The Hillers are coached by Tom Keene and Chris Banks. Now, please rise for the playing of our national anthem.
It's the Somerville Highlanders out of the Northeastern Small League and the Hopkinton Hillers out of the TVL Large League. A cross-league matchup here tonight at the Hopkinton Athletic Center. Tom Nappy, happy to be with you. Our crew this evening includes John Ritz, Samantha Dings, and Mary Arnott. And we are just about ready for tip-off. Somerville is led by head coach Mark Antonelli, who is in his 11th season at the helm for the Highlanders. The Hillers led by 19th year head coach Tom Keene. Standing in the center circle for Somerville, it's Sam Pexoto, a junior, and he is matched up with McCallum Lind for the Hillers. McCallum Lind, a senior. And the Hillers win the opening tip, working left to right across your screen. Up the near side, Ambersoni takes it in the interior, pass up over to Puvakad, now kicked back out to Maffiori, and he'll drive and take a shot. No good, and Pexoto's there for the rebound. The Hillers have shot very well lately during their 3-game winning streak as McEwen misses a 3, and it's gathered up along the corner by Pexoto to keep it in Somerville possession. Now Montiel going to drive in, and we'll have our first whistle of the evening. A moving violation there. Hillers will have the entry. Puvakad on the inbound to Ambersoni. Ambersoni kicks it over to Maffiori as Somerville presses one. Driving in from up top, Kelly. Hillers will move it around the perimeter. Ambersoni pump fakes, gives it back to Maffiori. Ambersoni over to Puvakad. Puvakad at times can certainly heat up from the field. He's a player to look out for tonight. And of course you got Stephen Maffiori and Tommy Ambersoni as there's the first bucket there. And Puvakad strikes long distance, 3-0 Hillers. Shikari Ross taking it up for Somerville as the Hillers press two. It's stolen away. A great steal by Brendan Kelly as he intercepts the pass. Maffiori along the baseline, and he is blocked by Montiel. It'll be a Hillers inbound. On the entry is Brendan Kelly. Over to the corner to Lind. Now it's up top to Ambersoni. Ambersoni can certainly strike from beyond the perimeter, and he's going to drive up to the elbow and launch an air ball there, but it is put out of bounds by Puvakad off of Jakari Ross. Good hustle there. Minute and a half into action. The Hillers with the 3-0 lead to start things off. And there's a lot of questions as to what kind of matchup we'll get tonight. Will it be a high-scoring one, or will it be a defensive one? These two teams strong on both sides of the ball. Ambersoni at the top of the key, gives it over to Maffiori, launches the 3, and that's off the back iron. Loose ball gathered up by Puvakad. Puvakad working at the point, pass over to Ambersoni. Ambersoni to Lind. And now to the left side of Puvakad, and now on the interior, it's Kelly driving along the baseline. He tries to put up a shot, ends up out of bounds. Somerville basketball. James McEwen on the entry. And I think you're going to see these two teams pressing each other all game long and really challenging each other to get in the interior. Great feed to the block, but a missed shot, and Brendan Kelly got a hand on it to knock it away from Jelani Hill. And the Hillers take it back to the offensive zone. Ambersoni with the pass over to Puvakad. Now it's back up to Ambersoni. Ambersoni trying to find the open man on the interior. Kicks it over to Lind. Lind to Maffiori, who launches a 3. Off the back iron it goes, and it is pulled down by Sam Pexoto, the junior, who is one of the key rebounders for Somerville. Shikari Ross is going to drop a foul here. First foul of the game by either team. We'll get Puvakad with his first. Shikari Ross, a senior, trying to put the first points in for Somerville. And it's a 3-1 game. Second free throw for Ross. Off the rim, and the rebound by Puvakad. Here comes the Hillers. Puvakad with a great feed to Kelly. Kelly underhands it. It's a missed shot, however, as Pexoto pulls it down. And Somerville has it back. McEwen driving in, and he'll put it in for 2. We're knotted up at 3 apiece. Up the far side, Ambrosoni. Pass over to Lind. Lind along the corner. Up to Ambrosoni he goes. Ambrosoni calls it out. Now gives it over to Kelly, and a great feed there. The reverse by Puvakad is no good. And then it ends up out of bounds. Somerville ball. It'll be interesting to see tonight how tired the Hillers are after a tough battle against Medfield yesterday. They did get the victory, 62-48. Somerville, they haven't played since all the way back on January 8th, so they've had some time off as Montiel takes it up for the Highlanders. Pass up over to Ross, driving in, trying to feed the corner, and he's tripped up. That'll be another Hillers foul. And they get Ambrosoni with his first. Somerville on the inbound. James McEwen on the entry. McEwen goes up to Ross. Well, it's been a defensive first quarter so far. Pass over to Montiel, who launches a 3, and it's good. The freshman strikes from long distance, and Somerville has their first lead of the game. Ambrosoni takes it up for the Hillers. Well, both of these teams can shoot, that's for sure. Somerville averaging 60 points per game. The Hillers averaging 58. So very similar numbers from an offensive standpoint. It's over to Keefe, who gets it back to Ambrosoni. Brian Keefe just recently came into the game. Ambrosoni feeds it over to Lind, who launches a 3, and that is going to fall short. Rebound by Rosen to keep it in Hillers' possession. And now Lind drives in and pulls up with the shot. It's no good. And Somerville has it back as Montiel is there. Pass up over to James McEwen, who goes up and in with it. And that's McEwen's second field goal of the night. Top of the perimeter, Ambrosoni. 3:40 and counting left to go. It's an 8-3 Somerville lead. The Hillers a little cold from the field in these last few minutes. Ambrosoni kicks it over to Lind. Lind feeds it to Ambrosoni along the corner. Driving in with the jumper. Out the back iron it goes, and then out of the hands of Rosen it goes into the hands of Pexoto, and Somerville has it. Montiel takes it up over to Ross along the wing. Now they'll kick it back out, trying to open up some space in the interior. Hale along the wing. Now it's Ross over to McEwen, and now the jumper is no good from Hale, and then a fight for the ball. And we have a foul, and it will be Hillers basketball. First foul of the night on Somerville. And they are going to get the junior, Sam Pexoto, with the foul. A little push there. Ryan Kester will inbound for the Hillers. Puvakad will take it down. As he calls it out, Somerville backs off the press. They want to concentrate on the interior. And that's what you'll see when you have a team that is ice cold from the field. We'll back off the press. Here's a 3, and that's off the side of the hoop by Keefe. And it is collected up by a Highlander as Montiel was there. He tries to go coast to coast with it and draw some contact. And they got Puvakad with his second. Somerville will inbound. James McEwen on the entry. Over the paint he goes to Ross, up and in for the bucket. And that was Delaney Hale, rather, the junior for Somerville. It's 10-3. Driving in Puvakad, who's trying to feed Kelly, ends up losing his dribble. Out of bounds it goes, Somerville basketball. Well, I think this is a good timeout call here by Coach Keene. The Hillers not striking well from the field. They're missing a lot of shots, and Somerville's gathering up a lot of turnovers. And right now it's only a 10-3 game, so you certainly want to calm your team down before this game gets too out of hand. So good timeout call here. Let's take a look at the scoring totals for Somerville so far. Jakari Ross with 1, James McEwen with 4, Marcus Montiel with 3, and Jelani Hill with 2 so far for the Highlanders. And this is a team that can put up a whole lot of points. So the Hillers certainly have to be cautious here not to give up too many turnovers. Hopkinton has been classically known as a slower starting team offensively. Then they really heated up in the second half. That's been the case in many games this season. So perhaps that will be the case tonight. But despite this not being a league game, this is a huge game for the Hillers as they continue to look for a playoff spot. They're on a 3-game winning streak right now. They got all the momentum in their favor and certainly want to keep it there with a tough schedule coming up. Off the timeout, Somerville basketball. Hillers' next game will be at Norwood. That's this coming Friday. Norwood, certainly a good basketball program. McEwen at the top. And now it's stolen away. Here comes Ambrosoni. And Ambrosoni trying to feed it over. Good hustle by Somerville. He was trying to get it over to Brian Keefe, but the Highlanders got there first. And coast to coast goes Montiel. Up for the shot, no good. And then it's knocked in the air by a couple of players on each team, and Brendan Kelly pulls it down. Ambrosoni over to the left corner, up for 3, and no good is Keefe. And Ambrosoni ends up with possession at the top of the perimeter. Ambrosoni pump fakes, gets it back to Keefe. Keefe trying to feed it to Ambrosoni. A good read by Montiel. Here comes the freshman over to the bucket, up for the shot, and he misses it but draws the foul. And this one is going to be on Ambrosoni. That's already his second. Well, for the Hillers, you got 2 of your key players already with a couple of fouls. We're still in the first quarter, so that's something else to watch out for. First of 2, no good from Montiel. Marcos Montiel hit a 3 earlier in the quarter. Second free throw, he's got it. An 11-3 lead for Somerville. Hillers on the inbound as Ambrosoni trying to work down court. Fiore now along the near side. Back to Ambrosoni he goes. Ambrosoni certainly with good handles. Over to Kelly. Kelly drives in. Good feed to the short corner to Rosen. Rosen trying to feed it over to Fiore, nearly intercepted. Mohamed Hussein couldn't stay in bounds there, and the Hillers will have the entry from the near sideline. Kester up to Pavakat, over to the wing, and up for 3 goes Fiore. That's no good. Loose ball and a foul called. There's some contact there, trying to grab the loose ball between Kelly and Ross, and they get Kelly with the foul. That is the 15th foul on the Hillers compared to just 1 for Somerville, and we still have a minute left to go in the first quarter. McEwen over to Ross. An 11-3 lead for Somerville, below a minute left to go. Hussein along the wing, knocked out of bounds by Kelly. And Somerville will have a substitution. Owen Thompson comes in for Jake Santana. Hussein inbounds to Ross. Over to McEwen. Now up top to Owen Thompson. Nice feed inside of Hale. Kicks it back out over to Ross. Driving in over to the wing at the shot clock buzzer. Just a little bit wide to the right by Hussein. Here comes the Hillers. Fiore trying to take it to the rack, and it's knocked out of bounds as he went up for the lay-in off the hand of James McEwen. Hillers have the inbound with 30 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Pavakat overthrows Kester. Backcourt it goes. And that's a bad turnover for the Hillers. Well, Hopkinton only won with 1 field goal in the first quarter. That's not the way you want to start this game. McEwen to Ross. It's back to McEwen. The Hillers starting to press aggressively, trying to drop some turnovers. McEwen into the elbow, and that is a travel. One step too many. 20.6 seconds left to go in the quarter. The shot clock is off. Puvakad works his way up court. Well, if you're the Hillers, you could really use a field goal before the end of this quarter just to get some type of momentum. Brandon Kelly along the wing, 6 seconds left to shoot, and he overthrows Nicholas Hines. It'll be Somerville basketball. Substitution for Somerville. Marcus Montiel back in the game for Jelani Hale. See if Somerville can hit a buzzer beater here. Jakari Ross drives up, launches it, and it is off the top of the bucket and out of play. And that'll wrap up the first quarter. A rough quarter to start things off for the Hillers. They trail 11-3 as we head to the second quarter. And we'll see if they can get the offense going here in this next frame. Only one field goal in the first quarter, and that's certainly not the way you want to start things off. Let's take a look at the Hillers' upcoming schedule. Their next game will be this Friday night at Norwood, a 6:30 tip-off over at Norwood High School. Then they're home for a couple. On Tuesday the 22nd, they welcome in a very good Medway Mustangs team. And then that Friday, the 25th, they welcome in an up-and-coming Holliston team who has been playing very well lately. And then you got the doubleheader, the girls-boys doubleheader against Ashland on the 29th. So things don't get too much easier for the Hillers. A lot of tough teams coming up. And then on February 1st, to start off the month, you got Westwood, who right now is at the top of the TVL. So it is certainly going to be a tough road for the Hillers, but if there's anything to keep in mind about any Coach Keene team, they can compete with tough competition. The Hillers so far this season, they started off with a loss to a very good Bellingham team. They then beat Holliston on the 18th. That was their first win, then beat Ashland. Then they lost a pair to Westboro and Westwood, but since have defeated Dedham, Millis, and Medfield. And we are ready for the second quarter. Montiel will have the entry for Somerville. Passes over to Ross. Jakari Ross feeds it up to Owen Thompson. Now it's on top to Hale. Now back on the wing to Ross. Great feed inside to Thompson. Around the defender, off the glass and in. A nice move by the sophomore for Somerville. Now the Hillers going to try to quickly strike here. Brennan Kelly along the baseline, around the defender, up with the right hand, draws a foul. Nice job by Kelly making something out of nothing there. Brennan Kelly at the line for some free throws the Hillers could definitely use. First of two is no good. Well, right now Somerville on a 13-0 run. Second free throw for Kelly. And that one is no good, but it is a Hillers rebound as Lind was there, and he'll pass it out over to Hines, who misses the shot, and now Somerville has it back. Montiel takes it up over to Owen Thompson. He goes, trying to fire it to Ross, but it's knocked out of bounds off the hustling Puvakad. On the entry from in front of the Hillers bench along the far side, James McEwen. Switch it up, it'll be Owen Thompson. Thompson up to Montiel. Montiel with the crossover, drives in, feeds it to a wide open Jakari Ross. And now at the point, launching a three there was McEwen, no good. Hillers have it back. Wide open opportunity, but Somerville couldn't take advantage. Lind drives in and misses the lane. It Spins around the rim and trickles out, and now Somerville has it back. Here comes Jakari Ross. Great feed there over to Montiel. And now with the turnaround is Hale. That's no good, and then he's surrounded by defenders to draw the jump ball call. It will go in Somerville's direction, I believe. And the official says, nope, it'll be Hiller's ball. Callum Lind on the inbound. Puvakad will take it down. Puvakad feeds it back to Lind, drives in, up for the shot, no good. And it's a rebound by Jakari Ross. Hiller's just struggling from the field right now. Ross trying to feed it along the near side. Brendan Kelly knocks it out of bounds, trying to intercept the pass. Well, certainly good hustle so far tonight by the Hillers, but the one thing separating these two teams is the Hillers just aren't hitting their shots. Thompson on the inbound to Ross. Ross being defended by Maffiori. Ross trying to feed it over the corner. It gets away from Thompson, and then he got wrapped up with Kelly. There is a foul. I believe it's on Kelly. And it is. It's his second. 6-team foul by the Hillers. 6:21 left to go in the second quarter. Certainly not what you want, trailing by 10. Somerville just one away from the bonus. Up to Montiel. Montiel trying to fire it over to McEwen, but it's knocked out of bounds by Lind. McEwen on the inbound for Somerville. Over to Ross along the corner. Ross trying to find someone in the interior. Gets it over to Montiel. And now McEwen along the far sideline. Nearly stripped away by Lind. Pass up to Hale. And now great feed underneath. Reverse lay in Owen Thompson. His second field goal of the quarter. He's actually the only Highlander with any field goals in the quarter. He's actually the only player on the court with any field goals in the quarter. Off the near side comes Montiel. Marcos Montiel against Maffiori. Hillers in a 2-3 zone right now. Feeds it over, the drive in, and laying it in is Jakari Ross. Hillers trying to respond here. Hopkinton needs to work in the interior. They took way too many threes in the first quarter, and they missed all of them pretty much. Driving in, Puvakad. Great feed underneath, and the missed lane by Rosen. Somerville has it back. Jakari Ross takes it up. The feed over to Thompson. Along the baseline he goes. Somerville will work it around the perimeter, and now into Hale. Up for the shot. No good. It was blocked out of bounds off of Hiller. Good block there by Lind. And some good sportsmanship by Jelani Hale. We're going to have a timeout. 4:59 left to go. It's Somerville 17, the Hillers 3. And it is certainly tough to watch this Hopkinton team missing open opportunities in the offensive zone. They've had a few great looks tonight, but just haven't been able to hit. And they've come back from big leads before, but tonight you're playing a good Somerville team, so you can't let this lead get too out of hand. Taking a look at the Somerville scoring totals, Jakari Ross with 3, James McEwen with 4, Owen Thompson with 4, Marcos Montiel with 4, Jelani Hale with 2. And for the Hillers, you got Michael Puvakad with the 3. Well, you wonder if the Hillers are maybe a little gassed after last night's big win over Medfield. The Hiller girls team also had a nice night last night as well in Medfield. And they are certainly coming along, a young roster they are working with this season. And we are ready to continue on. Hiller girls, well, actually they lost to Medfield last night, excuse me. They are 4-5 on the season, but it was a very close game. Medfield 5-3. From the paint, no good, and the Hillers have it as Puvakad's there to strip it away from Hale. Coach Keene did switch up a couple players. You got Jacob Cohen out there, and a missed shot from Ryan Kester, and Somerville has it. It's Jacob Cohen. Jakari Ross with a pass over to McEwen. McEwen over to Montiel. Montiel feeds it across to McEwen, up for three, and he's got it. Well, if you're Somerville, when you got the Hillers ice cold right now, you got to try to pour it on and run away with this game. But hopefully the Hopkinton offense can heat up and get something going. Jacob Cohen with possession. It's stolen away. Wide open court in front of Montiel, and he takes it right to the rack and lays it up and in. Tom Ambrosoni takes it down. Ambrosoni feeds it over. Now along the corner, that's Rosen. And now Brendan Kelly drives in off the glass, no good. And Kelly did get a hand on it, but taking it away was Hale. Over to Montiel, now up top, three ball, and it is no good. That was James McEwen on the attempt, Kelly with the rebound. Good feed there, and up and in for the first field goal in a long time for the Hillers is Elin Rosen. Hillers continue with the press as Jakari Ross works it up court to Owen Thompson. Ross to Thompson in the corner, thought about the three. Now it's back up to Montiel, and we'll have a Somerville timeout. 3:05 left to go. It's Somerville 22, the Hillers 5. You're watching Hopkinton Hillers boys varsity basketball on HCAM. Tom Nappy, happy to be with you on this Wednesday evening. A non-league matchup between the Hillers and Somerville. Somerville 5-2 coming into tonight. Hillers 5-3. We'll take a look at the TVL standings for boys basketball. Medway is towards the top at 6-2. Westwood is at the top at 9-1. Bellingham in second at 9-2. Hopkinton is 5-3. And then also you got Holliston at 4-5, who is certainly in the mix. Dedham 3-6, Millis 2-8, Norton 3-7, Norwood 3-4, Ashland 2-8, and Medfield is 1-9 on the season. For girls basketball, there was a couple of teams that clinched a playoff spot last night in the TVL. Norwood and Millis both grabbed their 10th win of the season. So congratulations to the Mustangs of Norwood and the Mohawks of Millis. Girls basketball teams undefeated, both at 10-0. Westwood towards the top in girls basketball too at 7-1. Off the timeout. See what Somerville has drawn up here. Montiel calls it out. Feeds it over to Thompson. Now a feed over to the right short corner. Up for the jumper, McEwen. No good. Hillers rebound there to collect his Kester. And then as he tries to pass it to the near side, stolen by Ross, who will go up with the reverse layup. It's no good, but he draws the foul. And they are going to get Ryan Kester with his first. Somerville is in the bonus, but I believe this is a two-shot foul. And the first of two is good from Jakari Ross. Ross now has 4 points tonight for Somerville. Second free throw for Ross. Off the front of the rim, no good. Hillers rebound. There to collect it was Brian Keefe. Keefe gets it over to Puvakad. On the perimeter they go. Kelly back to Keefe, driving into the short corner, kicks it up to Puvakad, and now here's Ambrosoni. Ambrosoni feeds it to the corner to Keefe. Keefe trying to get around the defender, and he's denied by Pexoto. Somerville has it, and then losing his dribble was Montiel. The Hillers have it back. Quick break by Puvakad, takes it to the rack, up and no good. Knocked out of bounds off of Pexoto. It's Hillers basketball. On the entry, Puvakad. Up to Maffiori, thought about the three, drives it instead, gets it over to Ambrosoni. I'm sure Coach Keene told his team to stop taking threes and work your way into the interior. Good feed underneath to Kelly, the reverse lane off the glass, and in he goes. Exactly what the Hillers needed there. A 23-7 game. Shakari Ross working up the near side, over to Montiel he goes. 1:45 and counting left to go in the first half. Montiel over to Ross and out of the corner to Thompson. That's up to McEwen, now it's back to Ross, underneath to Thompson. Trying to feed it up top, it's knocked away, stolen away by Puvakot, takes it to the rack and can't finish. And a quick pass up to Pexoto, and Pexoto is denied by Brennan Kelly. A great block there. Ambersoni with possession for the Hillers. Over to Maffiori, up for three, yes! Swishes it through. Second three of the game for the Hillers, third field goal of the quarter. And they're slowly starting to work their way back in. Shakari Ross along the near side, finds McEwen. McEwen over to Pexoto along the baseline. He'll draw some contact. They're going to get Ambersoni with his third. Clock stopped at 58.3 seconds left to go in the second quarter. As McCallum Lynn comes back into the game to give Brennan Kelly a breather. Well, Brennan Kelly has been a force to be reckoned with underneath the boards, but missed a lot of layup opportunities, but hit a nice one on the last attempt. Pexoto hits the first free throw. He'll get another. The Hillers didn't want him to get another, but that is within the rule book. Sam Pexoto on his second, no good. Hillers rebound. It was collected by Ryan Kester, coming in from the wing, Lind. A couple defenders in front of him, and he was trying to feed it over to Rosen. Around the perimeter they go, up to Maffiori. And now it's Keefe. Keefe calls it out, trying to feed the wing. A great read there by the defender, Jakari Ross, and he'll drive all the way up to the bucket. Up and in with the left hand he goes. Coming up the near side, Kester. Kester trying to get it up top, and a kickball called. It is against Montiel and Somerville. Hillers will have the inbound. Well, this Somerville team, they have great hustle defensively, and they have done a very nice job at reading where the ball is going. And the Hillers have it in their offensive end. They come up with some impressive steals today. Maffiori pulls up and puts it in. That's his second field goal of the quarter. He has 5 points tonight. Montiel coming up along the near side. Stops at the wing. Maffiori just waiting for his chance to try to rip it away. Pass over to McEwen. That's back to Montiel. He'll launch the three. Off the rim it goes. The Hillers have it, and that'll do it for the first half. As the buzzer beater goes off the top of the hoop. After one half of play, it is the Somerville Highlanders 26, the Hopkinton Hillers 12. The Hillers offense certainly improved in that second quarter, but they'll have to improve a whole lot more if they want to walk away with the W tonight. We're going to take a short break. Second half coming up next on HCAM. Welcome back to the Hopkinton Athletics Center at Hopkinton High School. We are ready for the second half between the Somerville Highlanders and the Hopkinton Hillers. Well, a rough first half for the Hillers as they didn't shoot too well from the field, and they trail 26-12 as we head into the third quarter. Let's take a look at the scoring totals. We'll start off with the Somerville Highlanders. Jakari Ross with 6, James McEwen with 7, Owen Thompson with 4, Marcus Montiel with 6, Jelani Hill with 2, and Sam Pexoto with 1. For the Hillers, Stephen Maffiori with 5, Michael Puvakad with 3, Brendan Kelly with 2, and Ellen Rosen with 2. And we are ready to go in the third quarter. I can't imagine the conversation in the Hillers locker room was too pleasant for the players. Or the coach for that matter, as McEwen on the entry for Somerville, and we are underway in this third quarter. Somerville working left to right across your screen. Good feed inside, up and in goes Jelani Hale, and that's his first field goal since the first quarter. Taking it up for Hopkinton is Tommy Ambersoni. He calls it out. Pass over to Kelly. Now it is to Lind. Then pump fakes, gives it back to Maffiori. Fiore trying to find a way around the defender, but can't, so gives it over to Puvakad. Now here's Ambersoni. Hillers running out of time on the shot clock. They need to shoot something here. Ambersoni drives in and launches it, and it's good. Nice jumper by Tommy Ambersoni. And Jakari Ross out of bounds along the far side. The Hillers have the ball back. Perhaps the start of a momentum change here. Still plenty of basketball left. It's only a 14-point game. You got 15 minutes of basketball left to go. Puvakad over to Lind. It's going to be all about how many turnovers the Hillers could draw up. Puvakad from up top, and he knocks it down. His second 3 of the game. And boy, did the Hillers need that. It's an 11-point game. McEwen over to the wing, driving in his Hale. He'll kick it back out. And that is Montiel from the short corner. That's no good. Pexoto with the rebound, tries to put it back off the board, and now a secondary putback. And that one's no good by Hale, and then we get a foul on the rebound attempt. I think Pexoto drew a push. That one's going to be on Brendan Kelly. That is his 3rd foul. You got Tommy Ambersoni, Brendan Kelly with 3 fouls apiece. You're going to have to be careful for the remainder of this game. Those are 2 players the Hillers can't really afford to lose. Pizzoto up with the right-handed hook shot and draws another foul. This time it's going to be on McCallum Lander. Is it? Nope, they get Brendan Kelly again. It's his 4th. Sam Pizzoto 1 for 2 from the stripe. Make it 1 for 3. Pizzoto on the second free throw, and that's an air ball. Well, I guess if you're the Hillers, that's who you want to put at the line. Puvakad on the entry to Ambersoni. Ambersoni takes it across. Kicks it over to the wing to Rosen. Now it's back up top to Lind, who launches the 3. Off the side of the rim it goes, and then it is off the hand of Montiel. Hillers basketball. Puvakad on the inbound. Great feed inside. Up goes Ambersoni. It's no good, however, and then batted in the air by McEwen, and he pulls it down. That was a good feed. I don't even think the defender saw Ambersoni behind him. It's unfortunate he couldn't finish. Ross at the top of the key. Over to Montiel. Now it's back to Ross. 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Ross drives in. And he's going to be called for the charge. An offensive foul there. Hillers bench loving it. That is the 2nd foul of the game by Somerville. Coming up the near side, Ambersoni. I think that's the 3rd foul of the game. That's still pretty good. Puvakad along the wing. Now it's Maffiori driving in, up with the right hand. No good. It'll rattle out. And then the rebound by Ambrosoni as he's able to feed it to Lind. Ambrosoni pulls up, launches the jumper, no good. Pexoto there to pull it down. Jakari Ross takes it up for the Highlanders. Ross feeds it over to McEwen. Now it's over to the short corner to Hale. Along the baseline, over to Pexoto. Up with the right hand and in. Give it to the big man. That's what the Highlanders do there, and their lead is back up to 13. And a timeout called on the floor. Hillers want to talk things over. Well, it was a good beginning to the third quarter. You come out, you give the ball to Pavakat, he hits a three, and then you get Ambrosoni inside, knocking down a two. 5 quick points by the Hillers, but Somerville did respond. But the one thing the Hillers have to avoid is turnovers if they want to win this game. You have to imagine they're going to heat up offensively because they are a team that averages 58 points per game. And in that first half, they only had 12. That is very much below their average for sure. As far as Somerville, they're doing about what you expect. They put up 26 in the first half. It was an 11-3 lead for Somerville after the first quarter. And then Somerville outscored Hopkinton in the second, 15-9. And went into the halftime locker room up 26-12. And unfortunately for the Hillers, not a big turnout tonight. I think a lot of people are probably at the hockey game. It's an away game against Dover Sherborne. I believe their rink is located in Natick. Along the wing, Matt Fiore. It's up to Rosen. There's also a wrestling match going on at the middle school. Matt Fiore drives in, trying to feed it inside of Rosen. It's taken away by Pexoto. Jakari Ross will take it up. Ross drives in, feeds it over to Hale. Hale kicks it back out to Ross. 4:45 and ticking left to go in the third quarter. It's Ross up against Maffiori. And now it's stolen away. A great steal and great read by Ambrosoni. Feeds it to Maffiori to the bucket and in he goes. Stephen Maffiori with his third field goal of the game. He has 7 tonight. Up the far side, Montiel. And now Jakari Ross trying to come across, and Maffiori got a hand in there. The Hillers get it back, taking it to the rack. Off the glass, no good as Kester, but we have a whistle. And it is a foul against Somerville. It's going to be the second foul for Jakari Ross. First free throw, no good. Nicholas Hines comes in for McCallum Lind. Count it. 30-20, the Hillers within 10. Here comes Montiel. Fires it over to Hussein. Hussein surrounded by defenders, and it's stolen away. Ambrosoni takes it to the rack, off the glass and in. Here comes the Hillers. Hopkinton within 8. Hussein with the pass over to McEwen. A great feed to Pexoto, and Pexoto takes it to the rack. Ambrosoni taking it up for the Hillers. Over to Kester. Now it's up to Hines. Now over to Maffiori. Back up to Kester. Ambrosoni. Top of the perimeter, running out of time on the shot clock. Drives into the paint. Feeds it over to the short corner to Rosen. Rosen has to get a shot off and does, and then tips it back. It's no good. And then it's pulled down by Jelani Hale. Montiel over to Hussein. Now back to Montiel. Along the wing, McEwen. Now Montiel. Montiel up against Maffiori. Well, there's 3 great turnovers in that last series drawn by the Hillers. Almost another one here as Ambrosoni gets a hand in there. And that was really good defensive work by Hopkinton. And they were able to get a couple of buckets out of it to get back into this game a little bit. McEwen on the entry. 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Somerville up 32-22 on Hopkinton. Montiel driving in, and as he goes up for the shot, we have a foul called, and that will be a push against Puvakad. That's his third. It will be an inbound for Somerville. It's a team third for Hopkinton in the second half. McEwen over to Pesotto. Pesotto is called for the travel. The bucket will not count. Hillers on the entry. Keith to Puvakad. Puvakad along the right wing, kicks it up to Rosen. Now over to Kester, who launches the three, and that'll rattle out. And it was nearly taken back by Puvakad, but reaching up and over was McEwen. Coming up now is Montiel into the paint, and he's blocked. A great block by Rosen. Here comes the Hillers. Maffiori with possession around the defender, and he gives it right to the defender unintentionally, of course, as Hussein there to take it away. And Maffiori was trying to lay that one in, but Hussein was just waiting for it. McEwen with possession. Trying to find Pesotto along the elbow, and it's knocked away by a defender, but out of bounds off the hand of Rosen. Somerville will have the inbound. Well, this is a much better third quarter out of the Hillers than any quarter we saw in the first half. McEwen to Pesotto. Pesotto up, no good. And then it is knocked away out of bounds off of Jelani Hale, says the official, and the Hillers have it. Well, Somerville was arguing that that was off of Puvakad, but certainly Hale had the last touch. Good call by the official. Puvakad takes it up. Behind the back dribble, drives in at the block. Oh, was looking for someone inside. Pesotto was there to intercept. Good box out on Rosen. Shakari Ross at the top of the perimeter, feeds it over. Hussein with possession, drives in, stops, pops, drops the shot. It's no good, but he draws the foul. That one on Keefe. That's his first. Somerville will have the inbound. McEwen on the entry, knocked out of bounds by Puvakad. We'll do it again. Knocked out of bounds by Ambersoni, rather. McEwen fires it up over to Ross. Travel called on Hussein. Hillers have the turnover. Ryan Kester will have the inbound. Somerville backing off the press. They want to concentrate on the interior and try to get the Hillers cold again. Ambersoni drives in, now over to Kester along the wing. Kester, great feet underneath, but a great block by Pesotto as Rosen tries to lay it in. And here comes Somerville. Jakari Ross with possession. Pass up to McEwen, thought about the three. And he gives it off to his left over to Montiel, who drives in. Pesotto underneath the bucket, up, no good. A great block by Rosen. Rosen just a beast underneath the boards on these last couple of series. And we have a double dribble call against Ross, or the Hillers rather. It'll be Somerville basketball. McEwen on the entry. Goes back to Ross, nearly stolen away by a hustling Ambersoni. Ross with the pass over to McEwen. Now it's back to Pesotto, and Pesotto lost it. Ambersoni's there to intercept, and he'll give it off to Kester. Kester takes it up, and he feeds Keefe. Now up top, Ambersoni. Ambersoni underneath to Rosen, around the defender, but he can't finish. Pesotto there to pull it down. Here comes Montiel. Well, the Hillers certainly look like a different team so far in this second half than they did in the first. A lot more hustle. They're hitting their shots and working their way in the interior, trying to make things happen. Less than 30 seconds left to go in the third quarter. McEwen over to Ross, drives in, up for the shot, no good, and he's called for the travel. Puvakad on the entry. Ambersoni will take it up. Ambersoni kicks it out to Keefe. Keefe along the short corner. The jumper, it'll rattle out, and then it's knocked out of bounds off of Pessotto. Buvakad will inbound. 9.7 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Over to Keefe he goes. Keefe looking for an opportunity. Turns it around, gives it off to Kester. The three, no, it's short. And at the end of 3 quarters of play, it's the Somerville Highlanders 32 and the Hopkinton Hillers 22. The Hillers outscore Somerville in the third quarter 10-6. That was impressive defensive work by the Hillers. They were able to draw up a number of turnovers. But when you hold Somerville to only 6 points, you certainly need to do more offensively if you want to get back into this game. But we'll see if the Hillers continue to heat up here in the final 8 minutes of regulation. And right now we'll take a look at the Hillers' scoring totals. Stephen Maffiori with 7. Tommy Ambersoni with 4. Ryan Kester with 1. Michael Puvakad with 6. Brendan Kelly with 2. And Elin Rosen with 2. For Somerville, you got Jakari Ross with 6. James McEwen with 7. Owen Thompson with 4. Marcus Montiel with 6. Jelani Hale with 4. And Sam Pessotto racking up a couple field goals in the third quarter. He has 5 total points. As we are ready to start the final 8 minutes of regulation. Can the Hillers come back and capture a victory over a good Somerville team? We'll find out right now. Pavakad with the inbound to Ambersoni. Ambersoni drives in up with the left hand, no good. Grabs his own rebound, puts it back, and that is no good. And it's a Somerville rebound. Underneath to collect was Jelani Hale. Well, the 2 big guys you got to look out for in Somerville, Jelani Hale and Sam Pessotto. They are the guys Somerville relies on underneath the boards. Ross gets it back up to Montiel, and now McEwen. Now to Ross, kicks it back out to McEwen. Somerville, they're having trouble finding any openings in the interior. Driving in Montiel, and he'll launch a deep 2, and it's no good at the shot clock buzzer, but Jakari Ross takes it back, drives the lane up in, and he goes with the left hand. The Hillers trying to strike back. Here comes Keefe. Keefe, coast to coast, up with the right hand. He's blocked, but there to keep it in Hillers' possession was Puvakad. Ambersoni launches a deep 2. That's no good, and he jumps in there, nearly pulls it down. Great hustle, but Jelani Hale was able to reach in front of him to get it back for the Highlanders. Ross trying to fire it over to Hale. An errant pass saved by Montiel, who's able to keep it in bounds to Hale, and now it's back to Montiel. Montiel feeds the corner to Ross. Ross driving in, and he's going to draw a foul. And they are going to get Brian Keefe with his second. Correction, they got Pavakad with his 4th. Pass over the corner to Ross. Now it's up to Thompson. The Hillers have 5 team fouls, so they'll have to watch out. McEwen from the corner. That's no good, and then it's popped out by Ambersoni over to Lind. Lind driving in from the wing, fires it over to Maffiori. Maffiori with the bounce to Ambersoni. Ambersoni pulls up off the glass, no good. And then it's knocked down by Ambersoni, who was able to get a hand on it to keep it in Hillers' possession. And Stephen Maffiori makes it count with a 3 from the corner. 34-25. Jakari Ross over to Owen Thompson. Now it's up to McEwen. Now Ross back to Thompson. The fadeaway, yes. Ambersoni takes it up. Coach Keene wants a timeout. He wants to talk things over. It's a 9-point game, or excuse me, an 11-point game. Great math skills there. 5:41 left to go. Somerville leading the Hillers 36-25. Well, it's been a pretty good climb back by the Hillers, but they're certainly going to need to do more in these last 5 minutes and 41 seconds if they want to get back into this game. This Somerville team, they are doing a great job at winning the battle on the defensive side of the boards and keeping the Hillers at bay. Well, there was a couple of students who turned out tonight for the Hillers, but I think we have a number of students at the hockey game, probably the wrestling match as well. I know it was a packed house last night here at the Hopkinton Athletic Center for an exciting boys victory over Medfield. 62-48 was the final in that one. And we'll take a look at the scoring totals once again for the Hillers. Stephen Maffiori leading the way with 10 points. Tommy Ambersoni with 4, Ryan Kester with 1, Michael Puvakad with 6, Brendan Kelly with 2, Elin Rosen with 2 for the Hillers. And a pair of field goals in this fourth quarter for Somerville have put them back up by 11, as so far in the opening 2 minutes, 19 seconds, they've outscored the Hillers 4-3. Off the timeout, Hopkinton on the inbound. Ryan Kester over to Cohen. Cohen to Maffiori, launches a 3. Off the rim it goes, and Pesotto pulls it down. Well, they're really trying to get Maffiori going from outside the perimeter. They could certainly use someone to get going from outside the perimeter. But if all else fails, you have to work your way in the interior. Try to drop those fouls. Try to lay it in. Jakari Ross along the baseline, up and in he goes, plus the foul. And one here. That one called on Kester, that's his second. Jakari Ross with 10 points so far tonight for Somerville. That's a team leading 10 points. And the and one's no good. Hillers have it. Here comes Maffiori. Over to Lynn, now Ambersoni driving in. Kick it back out to Cohen. Maffiori. Maffiori trying to take it in. Now it's back to Cohen. Cohen around the defender, up with the left hand, and in he goes. Here comes Ross for Somerville. Ross to the corner to Hussein. Now it's on top to Montiel. Now over to Ross. If you're Somerville, you can pretty much just hang on to the ball for as long as possible and then launch your shot late into the shot clock as Hussein tries to get his own rebound but gets tripped up. Here comes Brendan Kelly, and Kelly is going to have it knocked away. It will be Hiller's ball, I believe. Maybe not. So they're going to say that Kelly got the last touch, and it was with that backhanded swat where he might have hit it after Montiel made contact with the ball. So I'm guessing that was the officials' ruling there. But no disagreement from the Hillers bench, so we'll take the officials' word for it. Montiel over to Ross. Ross being defended by Jacob Cohen. Over to Owen Thompson along the corner. Less than 4 minutes left to go now. Montiel up top. Somerville, they're just hanging on to the ball. They're trying to burn some clock off. The Hillers need to be aggressive and get in there and try to rip away a steal. And there's a steal. Just what the Hillers needed there. Here comes Brendan Kelly. Kelly takes the rack, off the glass and in. 38-29. It's a 9-point game. Jakari Ross taking it down for the Highlanders. Ross working against Jacob Cohen, who nearly got a hand in there. He'll drive the lane up for the lay-in. It's no good, but he drew the foul. And they get Jacob Cohen with the foul there. That's his second. Jakari Ross with a team leading 10 points for Somerville. Make it 11. Somerville back up by 10. Second free throw for Ross. Count it. Well, Ross was patient at the line, and he made them both count. Andersoni coming up court for the Hillers. That's over to Cohen. Now it's up to Rosen. Rosen trying to fire it over and nearly stolen away by Montiel, but it went off his hands and out of bounds. Jacob Cohen on the inbound. And we get a foul. This is going to be a Somerville foul. That one's on Montiel. That's his first. Team third for Somerville. I must say the Highlanders have been very disciplined in this game. Not a whole lot of fouls at all. Jacob Cohen on the entry this time from the offensive baseline. Over to the corner to Ambersoni. Drives the lane, kicks it up to Lind. Here comes Lind, off the glass, and no good, but we do have a whistle. And I believe he's heading to the line. And with that foul, that is Montiel. Correction, that's Jelani Hale with his first. 2 free throws for McCallum Lind. First one is no good. Second free throw. Count it. Back to a 10-point game. Full court pressure by the Hillers as expected at this point. You got to drop those turnovers. And Ross, nowhere to go with it. And a timeout taken by Somerville before the backcourt violation came through. Good timeout there by Coach Antonelli. Exactly 3 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. It is Somerville 40, the Hillers 30. Well, the Hopkinton offense certainly looking a lot better than they did in the first half for sure. Only 12 points in the first half. And in the second half so far you got 18. You'd certainly like more than that. But this has been a good defensive struggle by these two teams. There's been some great steals, great play underneath the boards, and just great defensive coverage on both sides. Let's take a look at the TVL boys basketball standings. For those of you that didn't hear it earlier, Westwood at the top at 9-1. Dover, Sherborne, and Bellingham tied in second. They're both 9-2. This is overall standings, however. Hopkinton is 5-3. Medway 6-2. Norwood 3-4. Norton 3-7. Ashland 2-8. Medfield 1-9, Millis 2-8, and Dedham 3-6. We are ready to play on. The final 3 minutes of the fourth quarter starts right now. Owen Thompson on the entry for Somerville. Hillers with a 2-man press. Now it's a 3-man press. Here comes Montiel. Montiel fires it over to Ross. Somerville, they're going to hang on to the ball here and try to burn clock. They're up by 10. They're comfortable. They don't need to be aggressive trying to score points. And we are going to get a whistle here. I believe it was a moving violation, so it will be Hopkinton basketball. Here comes Ambersoni. Have to make this turnover count right here. Pass over to Cohen. Now to Maffiori. Now it's up to Ambersoni. Ambersoni thought about it from the elbow. Nearly stolen away. Here comes Lind. And Lind up with the right hand, no good. Puts it back, no good. And coming away with it is Jakari Ross. Well, that is the last thing you needed if you were the Hillers. Owen Thompson along the wing. Back to Montiel he goes. 2:10 and counting left to go. Driving in Montiel. Gets it over to the corner to Thompson. And now it's over to Pesotto. Pesotto off the glass and in. That might be the finisher there. Coming up for the Hillers, Ambrosoni. Ambrosoni drives in, the fadeaway, off the glass and in he goes. Great response. It's back to a 10-point game, but you're running out of time. 1:42 and counting. Up the far side, Ross. Over to Montiel, and the fouls I'm sure are going to start very soon. Owen Thompson, top of the perimeter. Over to Montiel. Now it's to Ross. If you're the Hillers, I say let Somerville give Pesotto the ball and follow him. He hasn't shot too well from the line. Shakari Ross going to drive in and draw it up here. That one called on McCallum Lynn. That's his first. Clock stopped at 1:24 left to go. Ross hits the first. Back to an 11-point lead for Somerville. Second free throw, no. Rebound by Puvakad. Over to Ambrosoni. Driving in from the wing, around the defender, kicks it out to Lynn. Now Puvakad for three. And that is going to fall in. Boy, did the Hillers need that. Coming up the near side, Ross, and he's going to draw the intentional foul. I believe they got Lind with that one. Nope, they'll give it to Maffiori. 1:04 left to go. The Hillers now within 8. So things still interesting here at the Hopkinton Athletic Center. Shakari Ross so far from the stripe has shot pretty well as he hits the front end of a 1-and-1 there. In this quarter, he's 4 for 6. Overall, he is 6 for 10. And he hits the second. Big buckets there for the Highlanders. Brandon Kelly along the left side of the perimeter, spins around the defender, up for the shot. It falls short, and it's batted up in the air, and it's taken by Montiel. Here comes Montiel over to the rack, and no good. He was denied by Lynn. A good block there, but now a fight for the ball is going to draw a jump ball call. As Maffiori gets wrapped up with Ross, it is in favor of Somerville. Highlanders will inbound, 48.3 seconds left to go. And Somerville, they need to get someone over there to inbound. And here comes Owen Thompson. Trying to fire it to Pesotto, nearly slowed away. A fight for the ball along the far side as Ross got tied up with Puvakad, and a timeout called. 44.8 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. Hillers trailing Somerville by 10. Well, things certainly not looking great for the Hillers at this point, but it was a much better second half. But certainly, it's tough to play back-to-back nights, especially when you're coming off a big rivalry game, as you had against Medfield last night. But you never know. Miracles have happened before, so we shall see what these final 44 seconds will bring. We'll take a look at the scoring totals for the Hillers. Stephen Maffiori with 10, Tommy Ambrosoni with 6, Ryan Kester with 1, Michael Puvakad with 9, Brendan Kelly with 4, McCallum Lind with 1, Jacob Cohen with 2, Elin Rosen with 2. For Somerville, Shakari Ross with a team-leading 15, James McEwen with 7, Owen Thompson with 6, Marcus Montiel with 6, Jelani Hale with 4, and Sam Pesotto with 7. Inbound for Somerville off the timeout. Owen Thompson on the entry. Pass over to Montiel. Montiel up to Ross, and Brendan Kelly with the foul. I believe that's Brendan Kelly's 5th, and it is. So one more, and he's done for the night, but I think he's going to come out of the game right now. Clock stopped at 38.4 seconds. Well, really, you have to hope for a Ross miss here on the second free throw, and you need a 3. On the first, nope. Second free throw for Jakari Ross. And that one falls short. And it's taken away by Puvakad. Here comes Puvakad. Pass over to Lind. And out to the left of the perimeter. Kiefer 3. That's no good. And pulling it down is Hale, and he'll draw the immediate foul. Well, that was your opportunity there. Clock stopped at 28.1 seconds. Delaney Hale, the junior, at the line. 4 points so far tonight. For those of you wondering about the Bruins, they're on top of the Flyers right now, 1-0 in the first period. First free throw is good. It's David Pasternak scoring his 27th goal of the season. Second free throw. No good there. Hillers have it, and they're going to try to shoot a quick 3. And Brissoni, they need to shoot quick. Can't hang on to the ball at this point. Up to Lind, he launches the 3, and it's good. Callum Lind dials long distance. And now the Hillers need a quick turnover. That's too far out of reach at this point. 5.1 seconds left. Well, Somerville going to improve to 6-2. The Hillers will fall to 5-4. Tough loss for Hopkinton, but it was against a very good, battle-tested Somerville team. Pass over to the corner to Maffiori, drives in, up for the shot, and it's no good. And then pulled down by Hale, and that'll do it. 46-38 is the final score. The Somerville Highlanders defeat the Hopkinton Hillers. Somerville now 6-2. The Hillers now 5-4. The final score for the final time, it's Somerville over Hopkinton, 46-38. And for our crew tonight, John Ritz, Samantha Dings, Mary Arnott, I'm Tom Nappy, and we thank you for watching Hopkinton Hillers Boys Varsity Basketball on HCAM. We'll talk to you again very soon. Take care and be well.